a fine heritage postcard for you today from Melton Mowbray in the county of Leicestershire. We're in Stapleford Park. When you come into this whole area, you can see just acres and acres of parkland. You can see a lake and this fantastic building and an archway and a church. Is this all Stapleford Park?
Yes, it is. The house has always been here. It was mentioned in the Domesday Book right at the beginning. And the original house, the bit that we're in at the moment, the house has been built through the centuries on top of the original site. So underneath where we are at the moment, we have cellars that go the entire length and breadth of the house, which in the olden days would have been the site of the original buildings. And in fact, a lot of the stonework down there dates back to the 1200s.
As far back as that?
Yes, it does. We had the architect here a little while ago when we've been doing the renovations, and I heard him say that some of the stonework does go back as far as that. And of course, a lot of the rooms down there are they've got very low ceilings, because in those days people were a lot shorter. And it's a myriad of corridors and little rooms and storerooms. In fact, our staff room is down there as well.
And in this room, which is the old kitchen, presumably it's called the old kitchen because it was the old kitchen.
That's right, yes. It was the original kitchen in the house. This room actually is my favourite room in the entire house. You have the original vaulted ceiling above us. It dates back to the 1500s. Across on the other side of the room, you have the hearth where the people would have done their cooking. The chimney now is blocked up, of course, because we've moved on a bit. We've got electric cookers and whatnot now. But then that's where they would have done their cooking in the room. And on the walls you have portraits of William and Abigail Sherard. The Sherard family actually owned the house for 474 years. And these were painted in, well, they're copies of originals now, but these were painted in 1622. So William and Abigail would have actually lived in this area at the time. This would have been the hub of the house, if you like.
So have many people owned Stapleford Park?
Not really, no. There were a few owners right at the beginning. John O'Gaunt, back in the 1300s.
A very famous man.
Absolutely,
really?
And a famous name.
He was linked with the estate.
That's right, he was linked with the estate. And then the house became, I think it was in 1336, became part of a dowry that was given in marriage. And then the Sherard family became the owners. After the Sherard family, it was bought by the Gretton family, who were huge brewing people. And the Gretton family, John Gretton at the time, he wanted to move into the area because it was very fashionable. We're right in the heart of the Leicestershire countryside, which means that you're really in a key area for hunting, shooting, fishing, all the traditional country pursuits. So he wanted to become part of this very fashionable set, and he thought it would be a great idea to own this grand house, and he made a series of alterations to the house in order to really entertain on a grand Edwardian scale.
So did he enlarge it then?
He did. He added to it, and he built a massive sort of gallery, a long gallery, which took up the first and the second floor. We have 9 bedrooms along in a gallery, and this long gallery, as it was called, took up that entire area. But unfortunately, he died before he was able to use it for entertaining on a large scale. And as the house was passed down the line, it just stayed empty, and it was such when Bob Payton bought it in the 1980s.
So this man, Mr. Gretton, wanted to move here to be seen as respectable, one of the high flyers, and he commissioned all this work and he never actually saw it. That's really sad.
Yes, it is actually quite sad. The additions that the Sherard family had made in the 1600s were here, but yes, you're quite right, he added on to it and didn't really realise his dream.
What about within the house itself? What sort of things really you think are evocative of a bygone age? I mean, is there a library? Is there a great hall? Is there a great staircase?
Yes, I think the house is very much as it was in the late 1800s. We do have a library. We have a lovely welcoming library where you can go and have drinks in the evenings. The drawing room is very traditional. A lot of the rooms have the portraits and tapestries which were originally here throughout the centuries, which is lovely. The Grand Hall, which is the largest room in the house, that used to be the old menage, so it was the old indoor riding school where the Gretton family used to exercise their horses when it was raining.
They brought them inside the house?
They certainly did, yes.
Did they not have stables?
Well, they did, but if it was... but it would still have been outside. They wouldn't have been large enough for them to exercise. So it's quite a large room, but the horses could certainly go round and round, and they could have a great time and not get wet into the bargain.
Goodness me, so that's really loving your animals, isn't it, to bring them in?
It is. Well, we've actually extended that because what we have done is we've painted the walls in a trompe d'oeil in the style of the Spanish riding school of Vienna and Lipizzaner horses.
The white horses,
That's
yes.
right. So we kept the same theme, which is really in keeping with that room and the house.
When you walk round the building, you see a lot of paintings, and as you say, there's a lot of things, novelty value, anecdotal, as well as some beautiful portraits. Are they all connected with the house? People who've lived here, who've left things, or did you come into this place and create an image for it?
I think it probably evolved very much from how it was, and a lot of the portraits are family portraits, and they have been here for hundreds of years. So the portraits, for example, over the drawing room is of Molly Gretton, who is one of the descendants in the Gretton family, and there are various tapestries, for example, in the dining room, and of course in this room in the old kitchen we have William and Abigail Sherard, and in fact our house cat is called after Abigail Sherard because she was a great lady.
And when you go out and see some of the wonderful things around, I even noticed that you've got enough acreage. I mean, how many acres are there in Stapleford Park?
Gosh, well, probably about 500 acres all in all. That's including the parkland, yes.
And that's probably smaller than it was when John O'Gaunt owned it.
Yes, it would have been, yes.
Probably owned half of Leicestershire and some.
That's right, and slightly better preserved, I should imagine, as well.
And when you walk around here, you look at this building and you see the lake and everything else. I mean, it must have been a wonderful place to have lived.
Yes, I think it would have been, certainly. I always find that when we walk, or certainly if I walk through the walled garden and up the south border, I think it's very reminiscent of maybe Pride and Prejudice, of that era where you can just imagine, you know, ladies walking up, maybe listening out for Darcy, coming up the drive.
From that pond?
Well, absolutely.
With his shirt all dripping wet.
That's right. Well, maybe not quite that far. But certainly of that era, yes, it is. It's very evocative.